what is the greatest challenge for all Australian women in 2024? I am going to challenge the question because I don't accept the premise of the question. Because the experience of women and the experience of people who identify as women is different. My name is Shankari Chandran and I am a writer. My parents thought I could do anything. In their minds, gender would not limit the fulfillment of my potential beyond the structural inequalities my young mind was yet to fathom. If Princess Leia could lead a rebellion, so could I. My family was the first generation to be born and raised in Australia, and as the children of migrants, there is this, I think there really is this pressure on us to achieve, to perform, to contribute to this country that has received us, this country that has offered us refuge, and to be good immigrants. And as part of that, when that intersects with expectations of womanhood that come from our cultural background, and then potentially clash with expectations of womanhood that come from the country we live in, add to that the dimension of, we're here, we're so lucky to be here, it makes for a different and complicated interpretation or masala of feminism and its operation in our lives. So culturally, I'm raised to be a good mother, but also raised to be a hardworking immigrant and to perform within a professional environment. And in this essay, it challenged me to think about what is my own space and what is my own inheritance and what is my own role as a woman who is a Sri Lankan Tamil, migrant, Hindu, Australian, middle class, if not more so, woman. We end up expecting every woman of every subgroup to do the heavy lifting and to do the advocacy for their group, and at the same time don't necessarily give them the platforms from which to advocate, because those platforms for feminism and for women, for womanhood, are already occupied and dominated by a certain kind of woman and therefore a certain kind of feminism. My generation was the first to be raised in the refuge of Australia. My family was the migrant paradox, keen to contribute to their new home, to fit in and remain unnoticed. They were also afraid that we would completely assimilate. They often clung to cultural practices, including the gendered ones, that even in Sri Lanka have been changed or discarded. Some of my adaptations are not especially profound. For example, my daughter is attired in clothing, piercings, and a tattoo that, in my day, would have triggered a nationwide auntie alarm. So the auntie alarm in the Sri Lankan Tamil community in Australia, and probably everywhere in the diaspora, is absolutely incredible. It is a network of aunties around the country and around the world who know what you're doing at any given time. And so if you break any social law, be aware that they will be on the phone or now the internet immediately to alert everyone and anyone that feels they have some parental responsibility over you, whether they do or do not. For my daughter, it has been wondrous for me to see the confidence and with which she has embraced her own identity, and she is comfortable with her body in a way that I don't think I will ever be comfortable with my body. Somehow, the world teaches us and lets us know that we are physically vulnerable. And my daughter is part of a generation that knows it and rejects it and advocates against it, and I have nothing but admiration for that. My parents taught me that Hinduism invented feminism. Sidebar, Tamils think we invented everything useful. The scriptures tell us that the female divine energy is equal to the male divine energy, and together these two halves form one whole. This is the catechism I try to teach our children, our sons more so than our daughter, because she already knows this. Something that women have, which is so powerful, is other women. And so when I think about the people that have supported me the most, that have strengthened me the most, that have shown me the way, it is other women. And so the power of womanhood is in the way that we have each other. I do think that women go into the world asking themselves and asking the world, how can we look after you? How can we serve you? How can we empower you to be your best selves? It often renders us vulnerable in a world that is dominated by men, but it actually comes from a place of confidence, a place of strength, and a place of courage. And that is something that I love about being a woman. I think men go into the world asking a different set of questions. And I think that our questions, the questions that women ask of each other and of themselves, and the way that they manifest the answers to those questions are far more powerful.